Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, today we are talking about lean habits. And specifically, we are talking about one lean habit or habit that helps me and helps my clients and will help you to stay in your ideal way, to maybe lose weight, to if this is your goal, losing weight at the moment, to lose fat. This habit that I've been practicing for years and I'm always working on it with my clients, this lean habit will help you again to stay leaner, lose weight easier, and stay in your ideal weight. So, it's not so much something that you necessarily do, but it's building awareness. It's about building awareness around our food. So it's no secret that the amount of food we eat, it matters. And no matter how healthy that food is, the amount matters when it comes to our body composition, when it comes to our weight, when it comes to our lean body mass. But some foods are not created equal. Some foods are more important to measure, to track. And one of the lean habits that I'm practicing, that I'm always trying to practice with my clients the best we can, is measuring those dense caloric or calorie-dense foods that really add up quickly and might be the reason why you're still not able to reach your ideal weight, to reach your body composition and stay there. Let me give you an example. I made a video about it yesterday, so if you want to watch a video version of that, please do go to my Instagram or my YouTube, and all of these links to this social media you can find on my website, www.createyourself.today, or simply createyourself.today. Anyhow, guys, so lean habits, measuring caloric-dense foods. Yesterday on this video, I was talking about things like nuts and seeds. You know, they're super healthy, so rich in healthy fats, in fibers, in minerals, like many minerals like magnesium, like potassium, like zinc, like chromium, like copper. There are so many things, good things for our health in nuts, but they're also very calorie-dense foods. And it's no secret that nuts are rich in fats. And yesterday, the whole video was about measuring certain kinds of fat-rich foods. And people were asking me, why are you measuring fat specifically? Why I measure fat specifically, and I teach a lot of my clients to do so, is simply because of food math. Is because 1 gram of fats delivers 9 calories compared to protein and carbs that deliver 4 calories. And plus, fat usually doesn't provide more than twice the amount of satiety or feeling full, right? You're gonna eat more than 2 times the amount of calories than from carbs and fats, but you're not going to necessarily get 2 times more satiety, right? And so those calories tend to accumulate very fast, and then they might not allow us to lose weight, to maintain lean physique as easily when we don't manage them. And it's kind of frustrating, you know, when you reach your goal and then you can't stay there, you can't maintain it, and it seems to be very difficult. Like you know, no matter what you eat, you just start putting on weight. But usually what happens, we just stop tracking everything, and you know, when we overeat, our body tends to store that extra energy as fat in most bodies. And that's just a natural process. So anyhow, back to calorie-dense foods and nuts. So here was my example yesterday. I like to eat all kinds of nuts for their health purposes. But those things I always measure. So let's take Brazil nuts. If we Google Brazil nuts calories, you're going to get results that on average, one Brazil nut, just one single nut would have 33 calories, right? So you eat 3 Brazil nuts and you eat 100 calories approximately. And it's not that much. And if you eat 6 Brazil nuts, it's 2 times that amount, 200 calories, and it's still a handful. But with Brazil nuts, it's kind of easy to count with things like almonds or walnuts. You might think, or I'm eating a handful, but that handful might contain twice as much as you did yesterday or the day before. Or you think, or a handful is that much because Google says that, but maybe your handful is bigger. Maybe you're grabbing a whole bunch of, nuts in one handful instead of 14 halves of walnuts, that what usually a handful is, or 30 grams of walnuts, and that's what you would get on Google, right? And so again, with Brazil nuts, you get 3 nuts, it's 100 calories. You get 6 nuts, it's already 200 calories. And let's say you eat one Brazil nut 6 times a day, like between your meals or whatever, and your daily food intake has, because of that, 200 calories plus. And then let's say for each of your 3 meals a day, you add a tablespoon that you measure of oil, olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil or ghee. You add 1 tablespoon, right? And each tablespoon would have about 120 calories per spoon. And so if you do this 3 times a day, you add 360 calories more. So you get 6 nuts, it's 200 calories. You get 3 tablespoons of oil or butter in your food, and it's another 360 calories. And so now we're looking at 560 calories that were not really even in your meals, that they probably added some texture, some flavor, but to be honest, they didn't add as much satiety, right? They were the things that you could really skip, and that would be minus 506 freaking calories. And if you do this even for a week, you can lose quite some weight, at least like half a pound for most people. So do realize that those things, especially processed foods of all kinds, I'm just talking about whole foods for people who are already eating whole food diet but still unable to lose weight or get as lean as they'd like to. Do know that those things accumulate very fast. And it does matter what kinds of food you eat, but if you are in surplus, you're probably not going to lose much. And again, those things accumulate, and there are no magic foods that aren't digested by your body. Even if you don't notice eating those foods, your body always notices and counts the amount of energy it can extract. And if you're not in a deficit, most probably your body not going to lose much. So please be aware of those foods. And those foods are nuts and seeds, but of course all the processed foods. Also, juices and smoothies. Let's say you're drinking your green juice, and most of those juices will have somewhere around 100, 150 calories. And they add like 0 satiety. Basically, you drink your juice, and in 5 minutes, you're ready to eat and drink something else. Sometimes they even make you hungrier. And so you drink that juice or that smoothie. For smoothies, it's usually 200, 300, sometimes even 400 or 500 calories. And it doesn't add anything to your fullness. You're feeling full. And then you have these calories plus. And then it's super hard for you to lose weight again. So they might add, extra veggie or fruit stuff into your diet, but please do realize those are not free calories, and your body keeps the score no matter what. And juices and smoothies and any kind of liquid calories, they're very low on satiety level. So again, when you consume them, you're ready to eat in like 5 minutes. So please also be aware of that and measure those calories too. They're not free rides just because they're green juices. Those green juices might be the very reason you're not losing the weight that you want to lose. All that matters. And when it comes to free food or food that you don't need to measure that much, those are whole foods, especially non-starchy vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts. Like if you're feeling hungry or not that full volume wise after your meal, load up on those veggies. Hopefully not a lot of fat going with them. Sometimes people like, oh, I just eat a lot of Brussels sprouts with olive oil. But yeah, Brussels sprouts do not add much calories, but all the olive oil you eat with them, that can add quite a bit. And at the end of the day, again, the body keeps the score. It knows every single piece of energy it can extract from those foods. Protein-rich foods, low in fat, are very satiating and very hard to overeat. And there is very little energy the body can make from those foods, because proteins are really hard to turn into energy for the body. And if they're really, really low in fat, like tuna or chicken breast or similar foods, shrimp also very, very little fat, has very little fat. Those protein-rich, fat-poor foods, they are also very satiating. So if you're feeling hungry at the end of your meal, add those fat-poor, protein-rich foods or green vegetables, green non-starchy vegetables for volume, for more satiety, to keep yourself from being hungry. But other foods, especially processed foods, especially whole foods rich in fats, like those avocados, nuts and seeds, fatty fish also can accumulate calories quite fast, even though it's super good for your health. But one mackerel can be like 400 calories, one mackerel fillet, because it's so rich in fat, and you eat 2 of those, you like 800 calories plus. So just be aware of that fact. And again, a small handful of nuts might be 100 calories, big handful of nuts might be 200 calories, and you won't even notice how you accumulate those. And then you're wondering, like, why am I not losing anything? Why am I not still seeing my six-pack even though I'm eating so healthy? Well, that might be the reason. Maybe eliminate those oils in your cooking and cook with water, spices, and herbs for now. Maybe eliminate those nut snacks. Instead of the whole big avocado, eat a quarter of an avocado. Instead of bulletproof coffees with a couple of tablespoons of butter and oil, sometimes even more, that just drink regular coffee with maybe a splash of coconut milk. That will eliminate like hundreds of calories every day. Please be aware of this, because again, that might be the reason why you're still not losing weight, even though you might be eating super healthy. And those juices, smoothies, again, don't add anything to you feeling full, but do add calories. Like, they're not some magic calories that just disappear. They're actually the easiest calories for your body to turn into energy, and that energy, if unused, can be turned into fat. So be aware of this, guys. And whatever choice you make, it doesn't matter for me. Meaning, like, whatever choice you make, it is yours. But be aware of the consequences that those choices bring. There is no magic in real world. There are no free calories, and unless you induce diarrhea or vomiting, that I of course do not recommend to do ever, because my stomach is rumbling. Hope you didn't hear it. Well, even if you heard, I'm human. Anyhow, guys, be aware of that. Make choices that serve you, that help you to reach your goals. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help you out to make a better choice and make the choices that you want to make easier, because as we learned yesterday, there is a harder way and there is an easier way for you to do things. Just figure an easy way, and it's going to be so much more simple for you to reach your goals. That's it for today, guys. I'm not gonna hold you any longer. Stay tuned for another podcast episode tomorrow. I'm gonna make it interesting. I promise to deliver some practical value. So stay tuned. Share this podcast with people around you. Let's learn and get better together. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.